Okay. Okay, anyhow. Yeah, I come up here and I suppose you see the name, huh? Yep, when truth becomes doom and gloom. That's right. You see the signs, doom to the right, gloom to the left. There you go. Okay, it fits. You know, when I put myself in my spot and I think about everything I've witnessed and seen and lived in my life, and the amount of years I've been researching and making videos and did a blog talk radio show and just my experience and my research and what I've experienced tells me a lot of things. But you realize that people you've known your whole life that you grew up with, you were good friends with them, and you got along with them, they got along with you, you hung out together, you did things together, everything normal, right? Normal life, right? But they're unawake because they're brainwashed by their media, like so many people brainwashed by their media and are unable to see really what's going on around them. And then I try to point the direction of the problems we have because, see, all of our problems have been given to us. And then when we play into the social engineering, our behaviors, have all been shaped for us. Our perceptions, our beliefs have all been given to us. And when you talk about this stuff, well, so many, friends that you used to have, well, you used to have, right? Did nothing to them. They're just asleep. They're unable to see what's going on around them, okay? Unaware of it. And they want to fit in. See, you have the combinations, right? And some people, well, they'll pretend to be your friend, but maybe, see, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this, it's probably going to piss a lot of people off. We're at a point in time where you're either part of the problem or you're part of the solution to stopping what's going on in this world. And when you say, no, I'm not involved, you're part of the problem. You sure are. If you turn your back and you're not willing to look at what's going on in today's society, stand up and do the right thing, then you are part of the problem and you're part of the reason that history will replay itself. And lots and lots and lots of people die, most likely including yourselves. If you have a fantasy in your head that your government's somehow supposed to be protecting you, nobody owes nobody protection. You are living in a fantasy. You're living not even a reality. You're living in a bubble. So I have to wonder, and most of the time, communication's been broke down between people. Relationships have been completely devastated and destroyed. Not just in relationships between men and women either, but relationships, communication with between people, period, have been pretty much destroyed because if you don't have a belief system that was handed to you that fits somebody else's belief system, well, we will use shaming tactics to shame you. We will attack you. We will censor you. Oh, we'll do lots of things to you because and then of course, people that would know you, well, I don't want to hang on him because, see, this guy here, he's a conspiracy theorist and he's a nut job and no. When you look at these Karen videos, when you look at these freakouts over somebody not with a diaper on their face, and you see not a cop, not a policeman, you see a normal human being working in a grocery store wearing a diaper on their face because they're following the orders to keep their job and demanding that you put your diaper on your face. And something that never protected anybody from nothing and couldn't protect you even if you fucking in your wildest dream. In your wildest dream, it couldn't protect you. But all it has to do is be a liar in a position on a television set telling you that it's going to protect you to do this. You won't look into it. No. You'll just believe it. Anything they tell you, you'll just believe it, man. And you'll believe it so heartedly that you'll go out there and try to enforce it on others. So you'll put on your diaper and you'll breathe in your poison and you'll poison yourself. And you'll poison yourself with your own CO2. You'll weaken your immune system, so now you'll be easier to get sick. Wonderful. Just wonderful. You'll say people like me you don't want to associate with because I'm nuts, but you wasn't the one in my shoes. You wasn't the one that worked for the company when I worked for the company doing what I was doing that was wearing a mask. You know, the very best grade medical mask to make. You were wearing a mask and you were changing it 3 times a day. I'm the one that had that experience. I'm the one that did that job for almost 3 years. Not you. 8 hours a day. Not you. This is how come I know that they're full of shit. I witnessed it with my own eyes. It's just unbelievable how people don't matter what somebody else tells them. If they didn't see it with their eyes, it can't be true. And when you're telling somebody the truth, they just go with that same mentality. But if my TV set told me it must be true, if my lying politician told me it must be true. Oh, we all know our politicians lie, yeah. Hold on, let me go vote for. Well, but we know they lie, but I'm going to go vote for them. That's exactly what you see going on. We all acknowledge that, yeah, our politicians lie. And then you watch all these people over your life acknowledging this and knowing this, and then going down and voting. You slap yourself in the head. What are you looking at? You're looking at a bunch of fucking bumbling idiots. You can't have it both ways. But everybody wants their cake and their icing too. Throughout their life, everybody wants their cake and icing too, man. They don't want any responsibility. No, couldn't have that. No, I wouldn't want to take the responsibility to start speaking out, start not complying, and not following orders that are going to enslave you. That's allowed history to replay itself over and over and over and over again. And it's the same mentality of the people back in Nazi Germany that led to their demise. It's the same mentality in World War I. It's the same mentality in the Gulf War, Desert Storm, yeah. 9/11, war, wars of mass destruction they have. Oh, what do you mean you didn't find any over there after 9/11? Well, of course you didn't because, well, your politicians lie. Y'all already owned up to that and said, well, yeah, we know they lie. But then you believe them and then you run down and vote for them. And you watch it play out in your face over and over, man. When the answer is non-compliance, when the answer is looking into things and not believing just what somebody's telling you. To actually go look and compare what they're telling you to compare what this says, and then to open your eyes and keep your big mouth shut and pay attention to what's going on around you in society. And when all three things line up, actions speak louder than words. It becomes very clear when you see things that you've studied and researched playing out before your eyes that obviously it wasn't a conspiracy theory. Obviously, somebody wasn't nuts. Or why would it be playing out before your eyes? But as far as anything else goes, I don't know what to tell you, man. I just, I'm looking at it when you're a truther or when you tell truth, because I have a history. I have a running history. The amount of years I've been speaking out. And in that running history, I haven't deviated. I've stayed on just what it is. I never come up here and lied to anybody. I never sugarcoated nothing. I come up here with the intentions of trying to help other people. You say, why would I do that? If I'm not doing it for money. Ah, but so many of you are up on here on YouTube for money, ain't you? And then there's a whole bunch of you don't care about the money, but you're up here for fame. You gotta be 15 minutes of fame. Yep. The majority of YouTubers are up here for all the wrong reasons. And if you have to have the tool to be able to speak out, well, then you're part of the problem. Because the tool is what's keeping you enslaved. The owner of the tool is who's behind all of this corruption. The owner of the tool is who's behind the brainwashing that's been going on since before I was born. And that's no lie. It's been going on since before I was born. But, okay, so, you got certain people. Jim and Chrissy, they know who they are. Yep. And I can think of a few others, but I won't. I won't go there. Okay, I'll just tell you this. Because you didn't look into something yourself and because it doesn't match what your television set told you, and it doesn't match what all the zombies around you are doing, you'll stay over here because you're more comfortable over here. You're secure over here, yeah. You're safe over here. You're part of the problem. You're complicit. See, we're at a time where you have no choice. You can't be not involved. If you say, I'm not involved, I don't have to do anything, somebody else has to stop this. I don't agree with what's going on, but I can't do anything about it. I'm not doing nothing. You're part of the problem. Because we're at the time where we either rise together to stop what's going on by non-compliance, not through guns, not through bloodshed. But you couldn't do that, now could you? No, you know why you can't do that? Well, because you couldn't get laid. That's right. Couldn't get a woman in your life. It was all about usury, all about sex. Uh-huh. You're mad because you don't know how to communicate and they don't know how to communicate and you're using all the tools that were designed to destroy you. Yep. You drunk your Kool-Aid and you looked around you in society and you seen what was going on and you wanted to fit in. So you acted like the rest. And the majority of you were watching your TV set. You acted like a TV. You dressed like a TV. You got to be in fashion, right? Act like a TV, dress like a TV. Yep. So here you are out here in the dating scene, not even knowing what you're doing, not recognizing each other as human beings. You're recognizing each other as a product to be used. Because that's what you've been socially engineered into believing. It's all about usury. That's right. Think, guys, you're more of a man. You can put your dick in more holes, right? Mm-hmm. Excuse my language, but it's the reality. Communication, what's that? Oh, man, that's the foundation. That's the foundation. Well, that communication is foundation between men and women, men and men, and women and women. That foundation is the reason that we don't stand up and do anything because you don't want to believe in and you won't take time to look into. I can't make it happen. You had to make it on an individual decision of your own. Okay, to your comment. How do I expect worldwide non-compliance? Well, have you got a brain in your head? Do you know how to look into things? Do you know how to take time to look into something to see if you're actually being told the truth? Or would that just inconvenience you too much, huh? See, taking a responsibility to look in to see to make sure you're not being lied to falls upon everybody. At a time that they're going to take all of your freedoms from you and they're going to crash your system and they're going to destroy your life and they're going to genocide you, you should want to know that's going to happen to you instead of calling the people kooks while it's happening to you. Because by the time you figure out it's actually, oh no, they wasn't lying on what these sick idiots at the top are up to, you won't be turning it around because too many of you be worried about collecting your two and following your order and not fitting in. So you'll go out and genocide somebody because somebody told you to. You know, you may be in the military. Yeah, yeah. You might be a military man. You might be a military woman. And this here citizen wasn't abiding by the rule. Whose rule? Whose rule wasn't he abiding by? What God was that? Was that God Biden? Or was it God military industrial complex? Was that God? Did that God have? Did that God there? Could you see it and listen? Well, yeah, it was right on my TV, man. It's on every channel, man. It's on the news. Did you know? Yeah, did you know the TV set's always been used as a weapon? It was so used for entertainment purposes. When it was never about entertainment. That's right. Your local news was there to inform you of what's going on. Well, yeah, it's informed you, all right. It's informed you right off the cliff to your own death. I can remember years ago on a radio show, on Blog Talk Radio, I told people if I had my way, I'd smash all TVs. I'd do away with TVs completely. There wouldn't be a TV in nobody's home anymore. I'd go door to door and smash TVs, and I had one guy on the show tell me, "You get near my TV and you'll get shot." Well, there you go. There's the mentality. If you get near my device that's brainwashing me, you'll get shot, because I'd rather be stupid than dumb. I'd rather be part of the problem, is really what you're saying. You know, most people are just too dumb to know that they're part of the problem. I hate to say it, but they really are. Because you're in a time now where if you think you can just sit back and not say something or speak out and you can do nothing and somebody else is supposed to do it for you, but you'll go ahead and put on your diaper on your face and you'll go ahead and follow the rules. You'll go ahead and follow your orders, okay? And you'll do something that is complete corrupt, okay? Because you ordered, you're told, and it's your job. Your job is to do it. You know, you don't have to use common sense. You don't got to use any logic. You just got to follow your orders. You know, the trials after World War II over Nazi Germany for the order followers? Huh, do you wonder why them trials happened? Yeah, because they were just doing their job. See, I'm a firm believer in natural law. Natural law says you can do whatever you want as long as you're not killing or doing harm onto somebody else. So if you're not killing, raping, or stealing, so Joe over here, or Tim over here, or Kevin over there, or Sue over there, Jane over there, don't give a shit. I'm just throwing names out of the woodwork, okay? See, these people, they do drugs. Yeah, they smoke marijuana. Are they hurting anybody? No. They're at home smoking a joint. Did they hurt anybody? No. What did we do? We came in and arrested them and locked them up. That's right. We destroyed their life, cost them a job, put them on bars, gave them a record, a man-made record at that, man-made construct just like money. I mean, the reality is slapping people in the face, and I feel because the reality is this, I got people online that have been my friends for a long time. I can think of Nick over in Germany, yeah. Been around since right at the beginning of when I came online. Yep, he sure has. We're still friends. We still chat. I can think about certain people that we've taken the time to really get to know each other that I'm friends with, Harry. Okay, but I could also think of more names of people that don't know how to be friends or people who are hypocrites and want to tell you one thing publicly while they do the opposite behind the scene, which means they're part of the problem to begin with and putting on fakery for attention and subs pisses me off. You don't come up and pretend to be a truther. You don't come up here online and you don't do a radio show. You don't do something and you're telling the truth and come up here and deceive people and call that the truth. Don't give advice out for people to do certain things if you're not willing to live by the advice that you're giving. If you cannot live by the advice that you're giving, then you should shut your mouth. That's how I feel. My track record stands for itself. I don't have many substance stuff because I'm censored and pushed down. You don't want to believe me, all you got to do is been the person that's been around since I come online. They can tell you that I've lost more than one channel. Unlike Steve Hoka, who was around about 3 to 6 months after I came online, okay? But he's been around since within that time period, okay? So, but unlike Steve Hoka, who still has his original channel, that's right, who's never lost hundreds of videos, thousands of videos even, to censorship, to being shut up, to having your channels removed. This is where this comes from, okay? I've lost channels, and I'm still here. I've been censored on other sites. I've had things happen to me from speaking out, and I never ran away. I was attacked hard when I come online and give TFL. Oh my God, when I brought Two Force Loneliness on the web, I was attacked hard, man. I was called a clever, called a kook, I was called a nut, I was attacked hard for a long time. I even had anti-TFLers coming up and attacking me. I had PUA attacking me. I had an MRA attacking me. Yep, I had men's right activists complaining about the same problems we're talking about and attacking me. I had pickup artists because they were losing money to my videos and my radio show attack me. I was attacked and I was attacked hard. And then it tamed down, calmed down. Then I was attacked again. I was attacked by a new level of people. People up at the top. Yeah. And when that attack happened, it was after, well, the original owners of YouTube being forced to court to sell out to the new owner that's owned it ever since. And that's when the censorship got upgraded. That's when my attacks got upgraded too. How do you think I lost them channels? Because I tell truth. So I don't veer from the truth. The dating advice I've gave to anybody has always been the God's honest truth. But I've also told people for many years now that nobody knows what they're doing in the dating scene no more. You know, you have Steve Hawkins. Well, that's not the way it's done in today's society, Bill. Oh, I understand that loud and clear. I have for a long time. I also understand that's the way you're still alone. That's why you're in the shape you're in. That's why you can never fix the problem, because you're all going with a tool that was designed to destroy the relationships of people. And now they've upped the antes, man. Now they're moving in to completely sever any relationship between man and woman and sever the relationships between people completely. And they've done a wonderful job with all these years of social engineering. They got you right where they want you, man. Majority of people just all bent over. Can't get it through their heads. I do get to laugh though some, because I realize that, look, I know what it's like. I gave you the name TFL. The True Force Loneliness came from me. The problem didn't come from me. The problem was already growing right in my face. Because, see, I actually did live it myself at one time. I really did. That's how I came up with the name, dummies. Okay. But then I actually broke free from it. Okay. As you would want to say, broke free from it, right? But, if I shot you with a gun, or if I did a bunch of damage to you and I made you paralyzed and you couldn't walk for the rest of your life. Okay, so if I shot you with a gun and paralyzed you for the rest of your life, would you remember that the rest of your life? Would that affect you for the rest of your life? Well, of course it would. Well, when you do psychological, mental damage, harm to another human being through TFL, through the division, through not knowing what you're doing or how to treat each other, that's men and women alike, by the way. I'm not pulling no punch. I'm not playing sexist here. I'm not playing favoritism. Okay? The reality is we have a high number of men that'll never have nobody, and we have a high number of men who agree that other men shouldn't have nobody because they should have somebody. See the hypocrisy there? Because of the loss of care, the cremation of care. See, that's another thing that goes along with care. You have to actually have care, but see, that's gone too. The only thing you care about is your own selfishness, right? Of course, yep. That's one of the tools that you're just living by. Mm-hmm. See, the many tools from the programming that's happened to you your whole life has shaped your perceptions and your belief systems, and that shaped your behaviors. And that's why you'll still always have a problem, never have nobody in your life. If you get somebody in your life, you won't be able to make the relationship work out, because one or the other is going to be going with the programming, and they're not going to know how to treat the other person, and you're going to treat each other like dirt. Or the partner that knows what they're doing is going to treat you properly, but you won't treat them properly. Especially if you got self-entitlement issues and you think you're owed something based on your gender. And you can play games and manipulate to get what you want based on your gender. I wonder what gender I might be talking about. Now, you all know what gender I'm talking about. But don't get me wrong, the other gender ain't much better. Yeah, they don't have the same options. No, they don't. Overall, they don't. There are some of the other gender that does have the same options, but them are normally commonly known as the famous or the super wealthy. Yeah. The Brad Pitts, the Shawn Michaels, and so on, right? We don't need to go any further on that. You understand what I'm saying. But the reality is we're all human beings, and somewhere along the way, you let your media, you let your social engineering, your school system convince you that you're not. To convince you of how many differences there is between a man and a woman. When 90% of the differences they talked about were all complete BS, BS alert, BS alert. But it made it great because the men bought into it, the women loved it, even though they knew it wasn't true. They loved it because it gave them all the perks. And what did it do for the elite? It helped piss off the men at the women and the women at the men. And where are we at now? Well, we got a game, we get a date right. Yep. Came right from the arena. From the sports arena for entertainment to the TV set for entertainment to the workplace, right up to the freaking dating scene. Divide and conquer, divide and conquer, divide and conquer. People just can't see it. It's right there in their face. So, now here we are in the middle of all this BS that's going on in society, and here I am. Okay, so what am I looked at online, really? Am I looked at as the doom and gloom man? Do all you people in this chat think that I'm the guy that only speaks doom and gloom? Think about that. Think about the people that grew up with me and hung with me and knew me, and we hung together and we, visited each other, seen each other, and think about, did they ever even call me up or ask me what the hell am I doing? Why do I think these things? Did they even take 2 minutes out of their time to go look into some of the stuff that I talk about and see if I'm telling the truth? Because after all, they did call themselves a friend. Well, no, they didn't do that. Now, why didn't they do that? Well, because they're afraid they won't fit in with the rest of their friends. Yep, they'll be 40, 50, 60 years old. I will fit in with the rest of my friends. You failed to grow up. Yep, that's what happened to you. You failed to grow the hell up. And see, the reality is we're at a time and point right now where you're either part of the cure, part of a resolution, a solution, to stopping what's going on, or you're part of the creation of what's going on, part of the problem that's going to lead to the repeat of history, that's going to give them all of their wants. And they didn't even have to do much to get their wants. They knew you all be too yellow, too scared. They knew that you wouldn't want to take responsibility. Hell, the majority of you can't even come up and do what I do. No. You might be afraid that maybe what I told you is true, what it is true, because I've never lied to you. I don't come up here and lie to people. Everything I've ever told you in video online has always been 100% truth. My experiences in life, everything I've told you, because I don't come up here and sugarcoat nothing, and I'm not up here to lie to you. I don't believe in playing the game, especially when I'm looking at what I'm looking at. So many men's lives are ruined for no reason other than they were born with a penis between their legs. So many humans' lives are destroyed by other people because, well, they wasn't successful enough. No. They didn't drive a Porsche. They didn't have a mansion. Yeah, because your belief system is successful, man. Successful. Successful means I'm the one in a position making good money and have lots of stuff that the other person believes. Well, if they go by gender roles, then you're the provider, right? And a gender rose is a crock of crockery too. That was created for divide and conquer. Worked out great. Because no human being owes another human being their living. No relationship, like yesterday was love day. That day that everybody had loved all their life. The hearts, that V day. That V day was yesterday, yeah. And what'd you do for your V day? And I was down there at the damn store with my son's mother and her other son, and took him down there to get some stuff. And she picked up the stuff. I'm standing there in that goddamn line, and the gal in front of us and the guy in front of us are fucking going back and forth at each other. And the guy's telling her, I'm not buying the stuff. Yeah, I'm not buying your stuff. He's telling her this. Next thing I hear him saying when it came their turn, he tells the cashier, well, I'm buying all the stuff. There you go. So he bought all the stuff, and then she had this thing of flowers and shit in her hand. And so you see what this deal is it's one-sided love. It's not even love at all. Nobody owed no woman no flowers or a card yesterday. What, are you out of your mind? If two people love each other and they want to celebrate that day, then she's going to be going to get a card and something for the guy, and he's going to be going to get a card and something for the girl, and they're going to do it because they want to do it for each other. Or they can give each other a hug and kiss and say, honey, I love you, and call it a day. But to go spend money, take somebody out to eat, nah, we're going to take each other out to eat, and we'll buck them both in half on the meal, won't we? Yeah. Why would you do that? Well, I'll tell you what, I'll take you out for supper tonight. You take me out for lunch this afternoon. Now we've each taken each other out. Yeah. I know I'd piss a lot of people off, wouldn't I? Oh, I'd make a lot of bad women. Because we all know Valentine's Day is only about the woman, right? It's not about the guy. He's not supposed to get anything out of it. Only she is. Oh, you mean that double standard again? Yeah, I know. Oh no, it's taboo. I talked about it again, dang it. I keep screwing up and doing taboo topics. Now that's because I'm supposed to screw up and do taboo topics because there ain't no such thing as taboo. If the topic is taboo, that means it's not allowed to be talked about. So then why would it not be allowed to be talked about? Do you ever ask yourself that question? I did. And the answer is that means you have something to hide. That means there's corruption. That means there's a little programming and corruption going on over here. Yeah, a little degong there. Yep, right in your face. Means there's a little more going on than you're wanting. And most people don't want to own up to the real truth. No. Scares the hell out of them, doesn't it? Look at all the nonsense going on. I had to come up here and do a live stream and tell you all about the water and sewage and the crockery report going around. You know, when the power goes down, the sewage is going to flood your water. It's going to be coming out your tap water. Yeah, give me another joke. Okay? It's the crockery, the lies, the BS, the fear porn that's being pushed out. I don't watch any of this shit. Come on. You want to know insanity, all you have to do is look around you. First off, anybody that's even fucking a quarter awake understands there is no Democrat, there is no Republican. You're watching WWE, you're watching the Jetsons, you're watching the Flintstones, you're watching fucking whatever show you want to pick when you're watching freaking your president. When you're listening to them, listen to all the lies and the propaganda, pull out the nuggets because they're telling you what they're doing. They sure are. Biden's already told you more than once he's going around along with Agenda 21, 2030. He's openly told you these three of the nuggets. He said it right in your face. Just like all of your presidents have told you for years now about NWO. You know that conspiracy theory? Your own leaders have been telling you it all along. Biden literally has told you about Agenda 21 more than one time already. But you don't get it, do you? Because you didn't look into Agenda 21, right? So you don't know what Agenda 21 goes into detail, do you? No, you don't know anything about Agenda 21 or 2030, do you? Right out of the United Nations. Oh, it's a conspiracy theory. Oh, the United Nations is a conspiracy theory. That's pretty goddamn cool. You should look up their website and call the numbers you can find to contact them, yeah. You know, it's just going to be awesome when you get an answer from a conspiracy theory. You can go to NASA website, government websites. You can go to FEMA's website. I mean, all these websites right here. You got FEMA, you got NSA. Yeah. You got CIA. I mean, all of them have websites. I mean, military industrial complex. You can find them online too. Of course, they have different branches. You could go military media industrial complex. Yeah, that's for real. See, all of these things exist. Fusion centers, yes, they exist. They came in after 9/11. Most of you don't even know what a fusion center is. How many people that's in this chat right now, out of 13 people, how many of you know what a fusion center is? They came in after 9/11. Can any of you in here even tell me what a fusion center is? I'll be surprised if somebody can. I'll bet you the illusion is over if he's still in here. He could probably tell you. I don't know about the rest of you, if you can tell me or not. I'm just going to tell you, you don't know what a fusion center is, you're lost. If you think they don't exist, you're nuts. Fusion centers only come around right behind 9/11. Part of the plan. How do you think they can know what everybody's doing online? How do you think they have the resources online to catch people worldwide? When they said one world, and they're talking about one world government, New World Order, one world government, they've already got that. You people are lost. They've already got it. Okay? What they're after is total control. What they're after is they're moving into the farms. Well, yeah, you didn't know you was living on a farm? Of course you are. Yeah, I'm not no farm. I don't live on the country. I live in Detroit. Oh, you live in Detroit? You live in the farm of Detroit. Okay, yep, that's where you live. You live in the farm of Detroit. What do you mean you're from Omaha? Oh, you're from the Omaha farm. Oh, you're from the Des Moines farm. Oh, you're from the Chicago farm. Oh, the New York farm. Oh, the LA farm. Do I need to go on? The Houston, the Dallas farm. Now, there you go. Old McDonald had a farm all over the place because, see, humans are cattle, they're pigs, they're sheep, they're animals. And you do live in a farm. Yeah, you are. You need to be controlled because you are nothing more than cattle or a pig, you know. You're not a human. You wouldn't have the ability to think like a human, you know. Because you know you need somebody to hold your hand, right? How could you live if somebody had never met in your life didn't tell you what to do? Just think. You have to go get a permit to put a shed on your piece of land that you live at. Oh, but by the way, you're not allowed to own it. Huh, unless you're one of the 13 families. Then that's a different story. Yeah. Because, see, they have bloodline, yeah, because they're above you. Oh, yeah, that's right. We use a man-made construct to be above other people, don't we? Yeah, we do. Yeah. It's called you were successful. Yeah. You were successful. Yeah. We know what successful means. Yeah, we do. It means you have more of something that was man-made than somebody else. And we use it to create levels of hierarchy, which is complete corruption, which is evil as all hell. So you got a handful of people walking around with swollen brains, the virus that attacked the human brain. You know, they got three things, man: power, greed, and ego. These three things that absolutely corrupt the human mind: power, greed, and ego. You know, I've said all these things before, but let's just think about this. What happened to our communication? Do you see? You don't even got people willing to type in here. I mean, it's just went quiet. They ain't even talking to each other more. Well, that's where we're in communication. What, you see that? Even when I said, I bet you nobody knows what a fusion center is. I said one person I thought, and okay, they typed. Oh, somebody typed, see? This is the problem, man. Communication. Yeah, zombie apocalypse. That's correct. See, communication is the main reason that relationships don't work. Communication is the reason because, see, you don't just get with somebody because you're attracted to them. Oh, yeah, man, she's a number 10 because I created a category which creates more division. Yeah, because nobody wants to be a number 1 or a 2. That's right, when you're talking about looks again, looks matching, there we go, yeah. See, it created another system to where you could have division again and you could fight with each other because you couldn't get along. You had to keep using the tools that destroy. That's right. You know, there's your sexual market value, right? Do you understand what them words really mean? What that does? Do you understand what that does to perception when you keep using it over and over? You talk about brainwashing 101. Programming, social engineering, brainwashing, all 101, all the same, man. That's what they are. All we got to do is just change your perceptions, make you believe something. That's not hard to do. We got you from the time you were brought home as a baby. You know, I understand Google's very, I mean, what are we going to do? Google's full of a bunch of techno craps, ain't they? Yeah, I don't call crats, I call them craps. Just like United Nations and the fusion centers, ain't they all through technocrats? Yes, they are. They're filled full of people that are got crap for brains. They like to be called known as technocrats. But I don't call them technocrats, I call them technocraps. Because that's what they have for brains, is crap. Because it is all about the tool, it's all about following the orders for the tool and calling yourself successful because you went down the rabbit hole with the social engineering. And you don't care what you do on other people because why don't you care? Oh, that's right. Another tool that happened. Another tool that happened many years ago called through social engineering was the loss of care. See, these psychopaths at the top pay money for your 13 families, bankers. Yes, Steve Hoka, it's the bankers. It's always been the bankers, always will be the bankers. And I just had to say that Steve Hoka's way because he's the one that spent years criticizing me, talking about Rothschilds and Rockefellers. What he don't understand is 13 families that control all the world right now are bankers. They just happen to own all the monetary systems globally. Oh, was that an accident? No. The very thing that keeps you enslaved, their money. Why do you think you're going to own nothing and you're going to be happy? Oh, but Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum, and that's a conspiracy theory. No, that's a reality. And they're actually telling you what they want. And as long as you're going to just dismiss it, not look and go along with whatever's told to you, pay attention to what Biden's talking about. Oh, yeah. He's talked about we got to do away with that fossil fuel. There ain't no such thing as fossil fuel. That's called petroleum. Oh, yeah, Biden is. Well, that's part of Agenda 21. Oh, my God, that's right. That's part of, we better talk about sustainable development. Oh, man, that's right back to Agenda 21 again. We had Obama and we're going green. Agenda 21. See, it's all been in your face, but most of you don't know it because most of you don't look into anything. Would that be true? Yeah, that'd be true. I wish you would, though. I really do. I want you to. I would hope that the majority of people would start telling other people and other people, but see, they don't. I mean, you know it every time you walk into a store. You walk into a store and you see all these people surrounding you with diapers on their face. You don't need, I didn't go any further, man. They got a diaper on their face because they believe it's protecting them. I'm not talking about the employees neither. I'm talking about the customers. When there ain't a mandate on it, they still got them on. They still put a diaper on their face. Why are they doing that? Well, the TV told them so. That's right. Instead of singing the song in church when they go over there for some more brainwashing, the song when it's singing, you sung it when you were a kid. Yes, Jesus loves me. Okay. Well, we're going to take that song now. We're going to say, yes, my TV loves me. Yes, my TV loves me. Because my TV told me so. Yeah, instead of the Bible told me so, see, and it's the TV told me so. That's what you're really witnessing. Well, that's what his job is because Joe Biden is nothing more than a servant, a puppet, the CEO of a corporation called government. Mind control. He's just a puppeteer for the 13 families. That's all he ever will be, too. Yep, because them 13 families control it all. I mean, because you got to have your tool, right? Right, Brian Young? Oh, who's Brian Young? Oh, High Impact Flex, that's right. You got to have your tool. I mean, you couldn't speak out about the corruption in this world without your tool, and you got to go down all rabbit holes, man. You got to talk about the show. Just think about this. Trump's no longer in office, and we had an impeachment. We're trying to impeach somebody that's no longer in office, and we don't see anything wrong with that. For all of you idiots watching TV, how could you not see that that's nothing but a show? How could you see that's to keep you looking that way and not over this way so they can get by with more corruption, more stealing your money, more bringing your country down, more taking your rights away, more, well, all McDonald's had a farm. There you are. Y'all cattle, man. You're going to be dying. You go to the slaughterhouse. Don't have to worry about it. Oh, no, it's gloom and doom. Damn. See, I brought it up again, man. I must be the gloom and doom man, right? Am I the gloom and doom man? See, it's not about gloom and doom because I don't want any of it to happen, but it is going to be doom and gloom because why? Because, see, at this point in time, you're not excused. You're either part of the problem or you're part of the solution. And that goes to every single person in this room. That goes to every single person in the world right now that are not part of the Bank 13 families or government entities for the tool, including Brian Young. Because, see, he reminds me of Alex Jones, so I call him Little Alex Jones. Yep, it's all about collecting that tool that's keeping me enslaved. That keeps them telling us what we can and can't do. And it's all about following your orders to get that tool. Oh, I need that to make my car payment. Oh, I need that to buy food. I need it to pay my mortgage and my rent. I understand that. See, I do understand that. But you need to understand that that was a man-made construct, and we, the people, have a right to take that away from them and create our own and say F you. When it's used to control you and take all of your freedom away from you, enslave you, and to destroy your children's life, your children has no life. And why would you want your children to have a life now anyhow? Or think about it. We're going to divide them as their children. We're going to teach them to grow up fighting one another, right? We're going to teach them how to not get along. See, you're going to learn how to have a relationship. Really? There ain't nobody in society left that has fucking them skills hardly anymore. I mean, the reality is this is what you're looking at. And my last comment, yes, that is true. I mean, that's always been true, and he knows it, okay? I understand he tried to come up and say he had 22 years researching it, but the problem with that would be that you mean you learned nothing in 22 years? I mean, that's all I could tell him. That's the only answer I'd be able to give him. Because, I can always remember the live stream where he said Steve Hoka sat there and told everybody that he studied NWO for 22 years. Now, I'm like, if you really studied it for 22 years, then obviously you learned nothing in 22 years. Because after all, you were voting for Trump, right, Steve? That alone, you don't even say anymore. I mean, and that not be able to see the 13 families, the bankers, or understand how come money was called the root of all evil. No, there is not a call from there. Bye. That's how I handle that. But yeah, it's one of these things. I am trying to forget because really I tried hard to be Steve's friend. I really did. And Steve ain't got friends. And I can understand why Steve don't have friends. And what friends he has, they won't keep. And why won't he keep them? Well, it'll be because of him. He'll throw them away. He's tired of them now. It's like the girl throwing. He's complaining about women throwing away guys and treating them like a hamburger wrapper, right? When they're done using you, they throw you away. Well, he's doing the very same thing the women are doing. He uses people he wants to pretend he's their friend, and then when he's done, okay, I don't know, I don't want to believe that, or this guy's more popular because I'm here for all the wrong reasons. Yeah, I need to have a little bit of money from this. I need to have some fame from this. Yeah. Why else would he come up after he preached? After he what for 13 years he pushes TFL, doesn't he? He speaks about TFL. Is not what Steve done off and on for 13 years. Told you all about True Force Loneliness, the dating scene. Yes, he did. And then out of nowhere, one night he shows up on a live stream and he throws all of TFL and all of his 3 years of work down the drain. He just throws it around the drain and moves over to an entity that was created by the elite through a University of Canada called Incel. Wow. Just wow. I'm sorry, but that's how I feel about that. Wow. Just wow. Okay. What do? You can try to help people. You can try to be somebody's friend, but when people don't have the skills to be a friend, how are they going to keep a friend? They're not. And if you can't, men, if men can't even be friends with other men, and we're not talking about being gay here, leave that completely out. If you're unable to be a friend with another man, you could never be a friend with a female. And if you say, well, yeah, but if you're a friend with a female, then it's off, it's over with, there will never be a relationship. Well, I have to agree with you. I hate to agree with you, but I know you're right when you say that, right? Because that's social engineering. 101 at its finest, man. Social engineering at its finest, because the women, the foundation of a successful relationship that would comes from communication and comes from honesty. Don't come from you gotta have game. It don't come from manipulation and lies to get a want. It comes from taking the time to get to know each other and becoming friends. And then if you're a female and you're male and you become friends, the friends is the foundation that leads to real love. Well, but if you're just friends with a woman, she never gets a hold of you. She's dating someone else because she don't know what she's doing. That's because she's following the tool, the programming, the social engineering that was designed to destroy. But don't worry, man, you're not no better. You think it's all about getting in her pants. You think it's all about spreading the seed. You're just as fucked up as she is, just as corrupt. Or you get into the book and you say, well, this is the man of the house, is the leader of the house. Yep, she has to do whatever I say. Oh, you went down the feminist road. Nope, he has to do whatever I say. We see more of that nowadays, don't we? Well, I got a news flash for all of you. That's not what brings a relationship together or keeps a relationship together. That's what destroys it. Newsflash, you're not her boss and she's not your boss. Oh man, that's just too much. I mean, you probably short circuit when I say that, don't you? See, that's why, I honestly could tell people that they don't know what they're doing in the dating scene. People don't even know how to get along or become friends anymore. I have to say the elite's won. I really do. You all been over. You all got you. You're right where they want you. You can't even get people to take the diaper off their face for the good of everybody. Even I ain't protecting them for nothing. Matter of fact, they'll try to enforce it on you because they're just right there, man. That is social engineering. Now, all this stuff that Agenda 21 is playing out. But don't think it's going to come on overnight because that's not the way they do it. They do it in baby steps because if they go too fast, they'll cause a mass awakening. They've already caused more people to wake up from 2020 forward. Okay, but they don't want it to be a mass awakening. So, that's one of the reasons they relaxed, like in this state that I'm in, Iowa. They relaxed it, okay? It's not a mandate to put on a diaper on your face, and you don't got to stay 6 foot apart, and You can all go back to full 100% customers in your restaurant and bars now. And you don't have to worry about 6 foot apart now, yeah. You know why they're doing that? I'll tell you why they're doing it. It ain't gonna last. But you know why they're doing that? To sell the jab. That's right. To make you believe that the jab is working. That's all that's about. It's trickery. It's a complete lie. Anybody had done their homework, they would know that this entire thing has been a fiasco, a lie, a complete fraud, a fake. You could fall off a skyscraper, blap your head all over the concrete, fall fucking 100 stories, or fall 35 stories off the top of the roof of a skyscraper in Chicago or something, land on your head. Okay? What'd they die from? The invisible enemy, man. Yep. That's what'll be on your death certificate. You died of the invisible enemy. See, there has been people telling you the truth. What do you think Harry and I, and even Harry told you himself, that after the election we got into 2021, guess what? Where we at? Yep. That it would still be going on. And so many just said, no, well, it'll be done and gone by then, it'll be over with, and what's going on? How could Harry be right? For the same reason I knew it and he knew it, because we're awake. We realize what's going on. We understand it. We've looked into this stuff. We know what we're talking about. And, and I'm not trying to brag Harry up, but, he impressed the hell out of me to be the age he is and to be on the level of awareness and knowledge he has at his age is very impressive. I'm 60 years old, okay? I've lived a life. I've lived TFL. How do you think I gave you the name? I lived it. I didn't create the problem. I gave it the name after meeting other people like me on a trip to the Philippines. Their stories were the exact same as mine. After meeting other people in my life that was their stories were the exact same as mine, I gave it a name. I sure did. And brought it online. Yeah, I done that. I lived it myself. I got out of it, better relationship, got a child, raised a child. He's an adult now, by the way. Yep. Okay. And I'll tell you what, my experiences in life, I've had lots of things. I grew up in a house that was haunted. No life, that's factual. Okay. I've had experiences you people would just be blown away with in my life, and I've also had fucking shit come at me because I speak out online, because I hover over truth. But I am the only one that hasn't swayed from what I came on for. Really, I haven't. I've watched so many people come and go, come and go, come and go. When I came online, MGTOW didn't even exist. Neither did Incel. The only thing that was online when I came online was a 10-minute video when it was MRA, men's right activists, and PUA, pickup artist industry. That was it. There was nothing more. Then there was TFL. See, there was MRA and there were PUA. Do you ever stop to think about MRA, PUA, CIA, NSA, NRA? Oh, what do you think? That's an accident? No, that's not an accident. That right tells you the whole damn thing. It's just like feminism, communism, socialism, fascism. Oh, what do you think? Those are the isms. See what I'm saying? CIA, MRA, yeah, that's right. PUA, NSA, NRA, yeah. See, that's all government brought to you, man. It's all brought down from the top. 13 families again. That's why I wound up with the green light in my house, because I hovered over truth and hovered over a couple agents here online, because YouTube has got lots of people that are employed for the establishment, lots of technocrats. That's right, craps. Okay. I mean, we have technocrats up the butt. We have CIA. We have military industrial complex. Oh, yeah, media industrial complex. That's right. We got people working for the United Nations, people working for the military media industrial complex. That's right. We have Fusion Center employees. We have Google employees, which is still technocrats. Technocrats. See what I'm saying? And these are your agents that they planted all over the friggin' place online. They're everywhere, man. YouTube's flooded with them. Okay, and they're all doing it for money. That's what they're here for. They're here for money. And because their job pays them so well, they follow the orders. We don't care if we're destroying the country. We don't care if we're censoring you, shutting you up, and taking your rights away from you. We don't care what we're doing because we're following orders because we're successful. Yep, you're a successful idiot. That's right. You're a successful turd that fell out my you know what. I need to catch you up and flush you. I don't know how the hell you got away. Oh yeah, guaranteed. That name is definitely an agent. Yes, he is. The guy works for, I guarantee he's probably working for the United Nations. He's a technocrat. He's one of the people. He's a technocrat. And he lies his butt off because he has to lie his butt off because he can't tell you. But he lives right there in Silicon Valley. He sure does. Well, how would I know that? Because I warned Steve ahead of time. When Steve went and got his paid Zoom account, I told Steve to make sure he put a screen blocker or something in because he was having people calling in with their phone. Well, I have that ability, and I already discovered that people's phone numbers will come up in your live stream when people see them. So I told Steve about this so it wouldn't happen. And when first called into his show that day, up came the number. And then Steve said, oh, and it's first. Remember. So I backed it back up on the live stream and paused it right there and wrote down the number. And then I Googled it. Yep, there you are, Silicon Valley. There you are, right in the heart of the evil. That's where he's out of. It made sense because he's the only one that ever unblocked himself from my account on YouTube. That was no lie. That actually happened. I blocked that man from my channel. He unblocked himself. Then when he came on my show, first time he ever came on my show, he made sure he had another account with that name on it. And he told me that was first within 2 minutes of being on that live stream with me, he told me, see, that's a troll pretending to be me. And I already knew the game would be I would believe that and block that person, and he would leave that one blocked. The reason the first one didn't stay blocked was because that was him. Yeah, and I knew that he'd leave the second one blocked because that was a troll account, garbage account to him. And that's what he did too. He did exactly what I knew, but he don't fool me any. How do you think he got porn in Steve's last live stream that he got porn put in? The last time it happened to him 3 times. The last time it happened, the only person there was first. Well, but he changed his settings. He's got a paid account. They can't share the screen. That's correct. But when you got the back door to YouTube, you're before Zoom. Zoom's integrated into YouTube. So therefore, if you're at the back door of YouTube, you have the master control. You can put that picture, you can put whatever you want in. He can't stop you. How do you think that porn got in Steve's live stream the very last time? Because it was placed there by the guy that was in his live stream with him. Technocrat, turd. Because he didn't fucking want to believe it. Because you don't want to believe something, you tell yourself, nope, I don't believe that. And even when it's true, you tell them, nope, I don't want to believe that. For the same reason he couldn't see the 13 families and the root of all evil is money. It's called the root of all evil for a reason. The reason is actually legit. How do you think they get everybody on board? What does society do? We created a society where you compete against each other for a living. And only the successful ones will progress. Progress in what? Making more of the tool, money. Social engineering and programming is all sets of different programs. Think of the TV Guide. TV Guide for years, fucking look at the programs for this week. What is a hard drive in a computer? What does it do? Software, program it. Program it. What do you do to human beings? You get them home from an infant baby, bring them home from the hospital, catch them right up and program them. That's right. Human beings are very programmable. Our brains are very much like a computer. We are an energy form. I don't care what you say. Your eyeballs see code. And your brain is like a processor. It turns the code you see into what you see with your eyes. Your eyes are like the scanner at the checkout line. Doot, doot, doot. No lie, they really are. And you have one of the best processors there ever was. But the problem is garbage in, garbage out. You know, Mark Passio told you that a lot. Mark Passio wasn't lying. When Mark Passio told you about it, David Icke has told you. But see, there's been people who actually did tell you the truth. But you don't want to hear the truth, remember? You don't want to pay attention to what's going on around you. You might have to acknowledge something. And if you acknowledge it, then you might have to take some responsibility. That's the reason there is nobody now, nobody that's not involved now, worldwide. All of us are involved. And your role is going to determine. You're either part of the solution that's going to stop history from replaying itself and from evil getting its wants, or you're part of the problem that's allowing evil to get its wants. And of course, at the end, you won't be around no more neither, and you won't have all the wealth you have no more neither, because it'll all be taken away from you. You know, because when we write the word sucker on your forehead, to you technocrats, yeah, you'll find that out. You really will. You'll find out you were useful idiots. They paid you good and made you successful to get what they needed done. Now they're done using you. They don't need you no more. Bye. What have they done any time? Every time they've repeated history. Their useful idiots got prosecuted for following the orders in Nazi Germany. That's right. And their other useful idiots got shot and killed. Or there was an accident that arranged for them. Yeah, they always arrange an accident, but you don't go on living. Because we don't need you sharing information that we've allowed you to have while we were paying you, useful idiot, okay, you useful dummy. And in today's society, because we have a zombie apocalypse, we have massive amounts of dummies for the tool that have went into the computer career and become technocrats who are just following the orders, just like in Nazi Germany. See, now we have Nazis globally. That's right. Because what is a Nazi? Oh, a Nazi is somebody that don't use their brains and just follows the orders and does wrong on other human beings. I'm a firm believer in natural law. I really am. No other human being or no other life form, and I'll even go as far as saying another life form, has the right to control you or tell you what you can and can't do. And if you agree to that, then you're agreeing to be a slave. If you want to be free and you want to go wherever you want to go, when you want to go, and you want to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, and you don't want somebody else sticking their nose up your anal, as long as you're doing no harm to somebody else, you're not stealing, you're not raping, you're not salvaging, you know. You're not bringing harm onto anybody else, you're not killing, you know. Then you should be left alone to do what you want to do. It's nobody else's freaking business, as long as you're not harming somebody else. You know, if we had real care, we'd understand that we could all work together and we could all have a good life. You didn't have to have hierarchy. There's absolutely no excuse for homelessness. There's absolutely no excuse for what we're looking around us and seeing. Tent cities all over Los Angeles. Homeless up the yin yang because nobody can afford it there. Food shortages. Everything that's going on, there's just absolutely no excuse for it. It's all engineered by us and the order followers, the dummies, the technocrats. You know, the order followers. And there's so many ways. I mean, you know, the images they showed people for the last 30 years of World War III. Now fear porn. They love using fear because fear is a great tool for control. If we can scare the living hell out of you, you're going to follow what you're told to do. And the promise that it won't happen to you because we scared the shit out of you. But if you don't look into stuff, then you're not going to know you're being lied to or you're being scared the fuck out of. Excuse my language, but that's the truth. And if you allow fear to control you, you've lost. You know, when you've heard us, all you guys in here, one time or another, have heard these words, man up. And I have to add that to the women too, woman up. So if I'm going to say man up and woman up, then I'm going to tell you that's what you really need to be doing. Because you can't be scared of the consequences. You have to understand what's going on and not go along with your own enslavement. If you don't want to be a slave, you don't want to be starved to death, or you don't want to be a statistic to what's coming down the pikes, you better understand that they're not going to do it overnight. But they are going to do what they're saying because I'm watching them do it. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's not a nut job. It's for real. It's not going away because you're looking the other direction or you're waiting for somebody else to step up to the plate because I'm sorry. If you're waiting for somebody else to step up to the plate, you're not part of the solution. You're part of the problem. You are directly part of the problem. There's no turning your head to it now. You're either going to be a dumbass that's going along with your own demise, your own death, and too dumb to know that you are, okay? Or you're going to practice using what's inside that head of yours called a brain. And you're going to back up and you're going to start looking into stuff and comparing it. And just sit back and watch and compare. And you're going to make your judgment call from what reality, not an hallucination. And you ain't going to let being scared shitless interfere with that. But if you're going to let scared shitless or you're going to let, I need to fit in with the others, if you're going to let all the shit that they've done to you affect your ability to do that, then you're not part of the cure. You can never be part of the cure. You're always going to be part of the problem. And when innocent children and innocent men and women start dying, you're the reason they're dying. You really are. When you're being killed off, you're the reason you're being killed off. You literally are the reason. And if you don't want to be that reason, then you better listen to what I'm telling you. I'm not going to play no favoritism here. So what do you think about them doing away with B10 fossil fuels that never existed? So doing away with your petroleum. Oh, and your propane. Yeah, that's part of Agenda 21, and Biden's already talked about it more than once right in your face. Go ahead and deny it. Watch and see. They're really planning on doing that. Why would they do that? Well, because we're overpopulated. BS. Self-renewing resource. Nope, it's no shortage. Never has been a shortage. Hell, they got enough of that shit pumped and put in reserve to run this entire country of America for 10 years without pumping a drop or buying anybody anywhere. But there's a shortage. You see how that's how that works. There is no shortage. I mean, that's the truth right there. I don't care what you tell me. That is the real truth. Oh, God. I got somebody typing me at the same. I cut one off so I don't get bothered there, and I get bothered from the other end. So give me a moment here while I go locate the source. Okay, now that'll shut the source up so I don't have to deal with that no more. Now get back to the live stream. There we are. Okay, just like my phone, I can silence that, but that was a harder one to silence. Yeah, so the reality is the reality, gentlemen. I mean, you're either part of the cure or you're part of the problem. You have no choice. You're not out of it. If you dismiss yourself from what's going on in the world, then you're part of the problem. Yep, you'll be responsible for other people's deaths, including your own, because you are part of the problem. If you cannot learn how to communicate with other human beings to be actual friends, then you're already part of the problem. You're part of the reason you're right where you're at because you don't have the ability to do that because, well, Your communication skills are messed up from the world that you grew up in that brainwashed the hell out of you and screwed you all up. And the only way to fix that is to start unprogramming yourself and realize we're all human beings. And if you don't communicate with somebody and you don't, you establish a relationship through a foundation that you build, and that foundation is called becoming friends. Whether if it's a guy and a girl, or a girl and a girl, or a guy and a guy, friendships, period, we're not talking about sex and love, okay, are built through becoming friends. And how that happened, you took the time to communicate, to get to know each other. And a successful relationship between a man and woman starts with becoming friends. When friendship becomes a rejection line, which has happened, it has happened, okay, that is social engineering 101, and that is part of the problem. That's the corruption. That's the foundation. Why don't you build your house on quicksand and wonder why it ain't there? Why don't you set your new mobile home down on quicksand and wonder what happened to it? Because that's exactly what you're doing. See, I can't fix what's going on in the world. I can only tell you what I see in my life experiences and what I'm watching playing out in my face. And the dating scene's dead because both men and women alike are messed up, and nobody wants to take responsibility. And as long as you continue to use the tools that they've given you to get dates, it's always going to fail, because that's what it was designed to do, is to break you up. So you're going to use the very thing that's destroying you to fix yourself, and you'll stay destroyed, and I can't feel sorry for you. Because I've done nothing but tell truth to people, and if my truth hurts you, then I guess I'm doom and gloom, and if my truth hurts you, you're part of the problem. You can't be part of the solution. You can't help nothing. What are you helping? People stay ignorant so that these people doing this to us can finish getting their wants. That's what you're helping. And in the end, you're not going to like what happens, but you won't be able to complain. You have to go look in the mirror and realize you were part of that problem. No, that's not. How about learning how to treat each other? How about examining all the programming that's happening and learning how to treat one another? And how about doing it across the board, men and women alike? How about learning how to be human beings again? How about getting true care back? Because that's the only way. It is the only way. You take any other path, you're going to be taking the path that's destroyed you. So then you can stay destroyed, you can stay divided. Divide and conquer, you lost. That's what that is. Divide and conquer, you lost. I see we have a troll in here. And so I'll help that troll out, okay? Oh, the troll's gone. That don't surprise me. See, that right there is an example of part of the problem. It's one of the reasons so many people are going to allow history to replace itself even when they don't want it to. But obviously you want it to, because you can't say you don't want it to and do nothing about it. You know, and the simplest thing you can do is stop complying. Because that's what has to happen. Stop complying with your own enslavement. As far as fixing our behaviors, on an individual basis, men and women alike both got to be able to back up and use what's in their head. And if you're not willing to do that, you got to keep just going along to go along, well, then you deserve where you're at, okay? That's all I got to tell you. I don't feel sorry for you. You deserve where you're at. How could I feel sorry for you at that point? I mean, the reality is, I do try to freaking be fair to everybody. Okay, I really do. I'm not people's enemy. I try to be their friend, but I can't make people be my friend, and I can't tell you how to be a friend when, but I can tell you the things you don't do. If you claim you're somebody's friend, there's certain things you don't do. Okay? One of them is if you call somebody a friend and you don't got time to ever talk to them, you're not their friend. End of story. Okay, and if you would like that to happen to you, well, then that's what you want for your life. You want somebody to, I mean, you just can't wait for the female that's going to come along and won't never have time to talk to you, right? You can't wait for the friend that you're going to hang out with to never have time, right? You can't wait to never talk to your friend, right? I mean, it's the same thing as speeding down the road, passing somebody up as you're a quarter of a block from a red light, and you know you got to stop, and you pass somebody up. So what are you in a hurry to stop? It's retarded. Well, how do you keep a friend? You communicate. How do you grow a relationship between a man and a woman? You communicate. How do you lose somebody? Non-communication. That's right. How do you stay all messed up? By not communicating. I mean, the reality is it's right in your face, and and you've got to be able to grow up enough to realize what I'm telling you is the truth. You cannot stay, if you're going to stay stuck in the zone you're in, and you're just going to keep replaying the same thing, you are part of the problem. There is no helping you until you first help yourself. Everything we need to know has been put out here. They've told us they would put it out here, and they have put it out here. They're doing exactly what they've been telling us they were going to do, and you're not paying attention. I mean, come on. I went back 31 years in what happened in 2020. Yeah, that invisible bug 31 years ago was being talked about. And it was even foretold to be in the year 2020. That many years in advance. You had people come up and tell you before 2020 that are in high positions. You still didn't listen. Then you believe the lie when they do it to you. Unbelievable. How easy it is to pull a blanket over your face. How easy it is to pull a blanket over your face, okay? And have you just believe whatever's fed to you. And when it comes to TFL and it comes to the dating scene, until men and women are like both back their asses up and both of them own up to their own wrongs, and both of them get re-educated in how to communicate and stop chasing selfishness and start having real care and start taking the time to build something, you'll have nothing. Because relationships are built. Whether it's a guy and a guy that are not gay that become best friends. How did they become best friends? Because they communicated. And if somebody's your friend and you tell them you're a friend, I don't care if they're online or not. When you fail to communicate, you keep failing to communicate, obviously you're not a friend. You might be an acquaintance, or maybe you're a product of what's happened in society and you need to start self-checking yourself. It's sad because this stuff right here helps us not stand together. How are we going to stand together to say no to putting a diaper on your face, to say no to everything that they're trying to throw in your face, and say no to when they think they can take all of your rights and your freedoms away from you? What are you going to do? Just keep going along to go along? I mean, literally, that's what it comes down to. You're going to just keep going along to go along. Well, that's going to help you out a lot. It's going to get you dead. That's where it's going to get you. It's going to get you dead. And I don't know what to tell you guys. I mean, there's a lot of people on Zoom that have me in the contacts list. But out of people in the contacts list, I can honestly say there's only a couple people who ever use it. Them are actual friends. The rest of the names are there, they just sit there, man. Why do they just sit there? Well, because these people don't have time. They're too busy. They don't have time to get involved and try to stop what's going on and try to correct the world because it's depressing. It's gloom and doom. Yep. So they're part of the problem, man. See, because it's do or die time. We ain't got time to be playing around. You may think you do, but you don't. So therefore, you're either part of the problem or you're part of the solution. You take and tell me what you are. You going to be part of the solution? Or are you just going to stay the dumb zombie and be part of the problem? And if you can't communicate with other people to become friends with other people, then get the hell out of here. You couldn't even have a relationship with a female if you tried. Because if you can't have a guy as a best friend, you sure the hell can't have a girl as a best friend. No. Gender doesn't make no difference because it is communication. You seem to forget communication is the foundation to any relationship that ever happened. Whether you and somebody are best friends or whether you and her are lovers, it is the foundation. You destroy that foundation and watch and see what your results are going to be. Enjoy your miserable life because that's what you're going to have left. I guess it's going to be like they told you, man. You will own nothing and you will be happy. You will be allowed to own nothing and you will have to rent everything and you'll be happy. Everything you already own, you will no longer own. You'll have to pay rent to have it or they'll take it from you. Even though you broke your tail off and saved up the money and bought it for yourself and you already paid the taxes and it's yours. Well, it used to be yours. It's no longer yours. Why is it no longer yours? Because you gave yourself over as a slave. That's why it's no longer yours. It belongs to your owner. Well, I don't got an owner. Yeah, you do. Why do you got an owner? Because you're a coward. Because you're yellow. Because you allow fear to control you. Or you want division. You want to be above somebody else. You're going to go along with society told you to do. Yeah, that's why. So you're part of the problem. I mean, this is the reality. You're part of the problem. So ask yourself, do you want to stay free? Would you like to see TFL go away forever? I know I would. Would you like to see people get together and be happy? I know I would. Can't happen unless men and women alike take their head out of their ass. But as long as it's about competition, it's about competing, and it's about selfishness, and it's about everything it's about, well, then you can plan on staying just the way you are and getting worse until there is no more babies being born by women. See, the women are going to, they're under attack right now, whether they realize it or not. That's because the end days are here, dude. They're bringing it in. And they are going after the women. Oh, yeah. I'm witnessing it. I'm watching it. They're now moving in on the women. They sure are. And I waited to see that because I knew towards the end, before they brought this in, they would go after the women. And that's exactly what I'm witnessing happening. So you don't got long left. You either get your heads out of your yin yang and you start becoming creative and you help come up with solutions. Do your best to try to fight back or you lose. Take your pick. So are you part of the solution or are you part of the problem? And I'm going to leave it off at that. And for you people that's in my contact list on Zoom, you know who I am. You know where I'm at. You know how to get a hold of me. And you just remember what I've said, man. Friendships are built. If you don't have time to talk, I'm the last thing on your mind, or I'm the one you're going to run to avoid to talk to, then I must be the doom and gloom guy to you. Block me, get rid of me. I don't need you. Get out of here. You're a joke. Okay? And if you was really a friend when you said you was a friend, maybe you should start trying to correct your own behaviors, huh? Because if that's the type of friends you want, then I suppose that's the type of relationship you want with a female as well, huh? If you wonder why you're always alone, go look in the mirror. If you can't communicate, you sure the hell can't get what you're after. You can't be in the dating scene bitching about you want to get somebody in your life when you ain't able to communicate. And if you can't communicate with other guys because you got to stay invited because society said we're competing against each other, beating the shit out of each other, and hating on each other because you're chasing after female, and you don't realize how messed up that is? You don't realize that's all social engineering, divide and conquer? It's pathetic. But it goes back to what I've said for years now. Nobody knows what the hell they're doing. And they don't want to hear the truth because the truth hurts them. And they struggle so hard because they get out there knowing the truth, but then they can't get it off the ground because the opposite gender is just as messed up. Why do you think I always pointed at a pole? Said one side of the pole was social engineering directed to men, and the other side was social engineering directed to women. And the end result was divide and conquer. And you're all using the tools that was designed to divide and conquer. Keep using them, and you're going to keep having the same results. It ain't going to change. You're not going to get a different result. It's always going to be the same results. Know what you're doing or lose. Take your pick. There's nothing more I can do for you. I'm not the reason it's doom and gloom. I'm just the guy that has 60 years old now that has life experience behind me that actually gives a shit about what's going on and what's right for all of us. And wished everybody could have a successful life. Believe me, if I had my way and I could control this world, everybody would have a successful life and there would be no such thing as a hierarchy. No, there wouldn't. There'd be none more of this hierarchy bullshit. Nope, none at all. Nope. If I had control of this world, I'd flip it around to everybody. Everybody'd be happy and you'd be glad to go to work to help build the things you want. And you wouldn't have to slave labor neither. Nope, you sure wouldn't. And nobody'd want that to go away because everybody'd be treated fairly. Everybody'd have just as much money. There'd be nobody richer than you. You couldn't be richer than them neither. No. They wouldn't be your boss. They wouldn't be above you. You wouldn't be their boss. You wouldn't be above them. You'd be on an equal playing ground. Because we're all human beings and we need to be treated equally. This bullshit of his blah, blah, blah. And if you're not a human being and you're another life form, I don't give a shit. If you want to be treated equally as the humans are, then you got to be treating people the same way that you want to be treated, huh? Yeah. There is no such thing as I'm above you and I need more than you. Anyhow, that's just pure corruption. And that's about all I got to say, and I'm getting out of here.